I'm Junior.
I'm Big Papa Grump.
And I'm Little Doom Doom.
And we're from the Board of Doom, and this is the Wrestling Recap. Alright, so we're just going to hit a couple of quick points as usual. I'm not going match by match, show by show. One of the things I really want to talk about is the AJ Styles, Chris Jericho, Kevin Owens situation from SmackDown. It was nice to see, it was very unexpected that Jericho came back, nice to see him back. But yeah, they put the belt back on Owens and then turn around and put it right back on AJ. This is the Raw Women's title all over again. Happy that AJ has a belt because I think AJ's great with the belt, but you know, I think the back and forth is getting annoying.
It's kind of cool that he pinned Jericho, and then after Owens did his frog splash, and then Owens kind of started screaming, "That's not fair!" And then next week, yeah. I thought that was pretty cool. Keeps
the feud going, so that's kind of cool. Sets up a match for this week. I'm not quite sure what they're going to do with all these three guys heading into SummerSlam. The rumor out there was that it was going to be AJ and Shinsuke for a while, but we'll see how that plays out. And just to reiterate, Battleground sucked.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of sucking and feuds, Enzo and Cass. Is it over?
God, I hope so. It was entertaining. It was great. The promos have been really good on both ends. I mean, Enzo's better on the mic than Cass is, but I think Cass has been doing okay. I mean, you know, he's not great on the mic, but he's selling his character. The crowd hates him. That's always good. But, I mean, yeah, how are you going to take this feud seriously when basically he just, like, Loki him? You know, just bang, bang, bang over and over again. And it's just... So that you insert the Big Show, but now hopefully that'll transition to Cass and the Big Show, and, you know, I'm sure Enzo will be on the periphery, and then once Cass beats the Big Show, then he can move on to, you know, important things. Yeah, and apparently they canceled Talking Smack. That was a big thing last week. I was going to get to it, but, you know, life and my car sucks. So, yeah. And apparently didn't tell the, you know, people on the show that they canceled it. It's not completely canceled. It's pushed back to just after the SmackDown pay-per-views. And they've got Renee Young doing both shows now, so she actually gets to spend time with Dean. But yeah, it kind of blows because that was basically all shoot promos and it was unscripted. You know, well, even if they weren't like sure they were Russell shoots, but you know it came across as real, and I don't know if that's what Vince didn't like about it. There's rumor out there that he just didn't think the viewership was particularly high. But yeah, I like Talking Smack.
That's pretty good. I mean, I wasn't watching it after every SmackDown, but...
Yeah, well, you can go through and you catch the highlights on YouTube, or you can go back and watch it on the network later.
And that was where, like, Mrs. revamped character came from, where he, like, basically called Daniel Bryan a coward. And he...
So now you've got a weird situation brewing, where you had John Cena come out. Of course he came out to challenge Jinder Mahal. And in what I actually kind of enjoyed the bit where Daniel Bryan came out and said, well, not so fast there, Cena. You've got to earn your championship matches here. So now you get to see John Cena versus Shinsuke Nakamura, and the winner, Cena, goes on to face Jinder Mahal at SummerSlam. As much as I'm intrigued at the Shinsuke versus Jinder match, because stylistically that actually might end up being a really good match for Jinder, Cena actually could end up being a really good match for Jinder because Cena's probably going to put him over at SummerSlam, and so you build his character up. But before you get to that, John Cena versus Shinsuke Nakamura. I mean, yeah, that's weird.
Shinsuke's just going to get beat up the entire time,
and then miss a Kinshasa, and then into a something, I don't know, Avalanche
STF.
Yeah. All right, so at Battleground, you had what we thought was going to be the wrap-up of the Fashion Files, where, and then the Ascension came out. We covered that in the recap there, but now the story progresses, and nobody knows exactly where it's going, but their rumors are out there that, no, not the Young Bucks, but the hot and heavy room right now is that
it's the Gorillas of Destiny.
Is that it's Harper and Rowan is the hot one. Now, he and I have both been kind of rooting for it to be Sanity, but it's a little too early for Sanity to come up to the main roster. So, yeah, thinking that it might be Harper and Rowan, and that makes zero sense unless they make it make sense, which I'm encourage them to make it make sense, but they don't always do that. So, to rehash one of the worst angles of the year, you've got Bayley versus Alexa Bliss at SummerSlam. Now hold your horses there, because if booked properly, Bayley versus Alexa Bliss is a good match. They're both pretty good in the ring.
This is your life.
With Alexa Bliss being better on the mic, it's always better when the heel is better on the mic than the face, because that way the face has all these insults thrown at them, and then they get beat up during the match, and then the triumphant comeback win, blah blah blah. I mean, there are certain exceptions to that, but in this case, definitely, because Bayley is still terrible on the mic, and with Alexa Bliss carrying that, as long as you don't do any feud-killing segments, please, Kevin Dunn, if you're watching this, make smart choices with characters. It should be a good match. They're both, like I said, they've got decent chemistry in the ring, but they've just booked their matches horribly. I'm hoping this is Vince's way of going, all right, take two. Let's start over. And so hopefully we'll get something good at SummerSlam.
Can they stick on a pole match?
Yeah, that was awful. So one last quick hit, and then we're going to, let you get back to whatever it was you were doing before you accidentally pushed play. Apparently there's a little bit of dissension in the ranks of the Bullet Club, where there have been a few tweets sent out by Tama Tonga about the Elite, who, of course, if you're not sure, is comprised of Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks. And not, you're either with the Bullet Club, you don't make your own little group and all that. So I think they're teasing the
Kenny Omega coming to WWE.
Yeah, they're teasing the Elite becoming their own faction and probably feuding with the Bullet Club,
which would probably be.
Well, you never know, because you may have a few. You may have like Marty Scurll or
you could have the
or the dude who I can't stand, that guy, just like maybe joining the Elite, and then you've got everybody else in the Bullet Club. Yeah. So yeah, you kind of split the group in half. Not sure where Cody would fall and all that.
Well, I would think Cody would stick with the Bullet Club. Well, I think that Scurll would stick with the Bullet Club because Omega's the one who brought him.
Well, I would think he would stick with Omega then, because Omega's the one that brought him in. However, Cody, I could foresee Cody or either Tama Tonga or Bad Luck Fale, because they've got like the most tenure, becoming the new leader of the Bullet Club. Probably Cody for the star power, and then you're gonna have
Tokyo Pimp,
and then of course you're gonna have the Young Bucks and Omega, and who knows, maybe they tease a split and then the Young Bucks turn on Omega. Who knows?
They're just gonna kick everybody out of the Bullet Club.
So there's that. I'm interested to see where that goes. I'm not going to cover any of the G1 stuff or the recent tournament or any of that, just because I didn't get to watch hardly any of it. So that was the wrestling recap, just the stuff that I found interesting. There was other stuff going on, like Bray and Balor and all that, but it's still way too early.
Seth and Dean. Yeah,
Seth and Dean with the whole not fist bump. But it's too early in the story for me to really get into it, because, basically what I just said is all I would have to say about it anyway. So, all right, so I've been Big Papa Grump.
I've been Junior.
And I'm Little Doom Doom.
And we've been the Board of Doom, and we'll catch you later.
Top presenter out.